Hi guys, so this is the preview of the quiz that you're going to take right after you watch the preview. Um, I'm going to tell you the super secret code word sometime during this video so I know that you watched it. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to say the code word because then you're just going to fast forward to that point and then tell me you watched the video and then you didn't and then I'm going to be like, doesn't make any sense. How does that kid not know? It just showed him on the video. So watch the video and pay attention. And then if you still have a question, you can send me a message on Remind or through Google Classroom. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is on your scratch paper, you're going to write out the formulas for volume because that way you can always look at it when you're like, I don't remember exactly how to do it. Okay, so we're going to write up here that volume equals the length times the width times the height. Okay, now we also know that volume equals the area times the height. And we know that because the length times the width is the area. So you take these two and combine it and you get the area and you multiply it by the height. So if you have the area, you can find out the volume by multiplying it by the height. And if you have the length, the width, and the height, you multiply those three numbers together and you get the volume as well. Okay, so number one, a rectangular prism is 4 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 8 inches tall. What is the volume of the prism? So we have the length, the width, and the height. So what are we going to do with those three numbers? Which equation are we going to use with those three pieces of information to find out the volume? Okay, I'm going to draw a picture of this for you. It's going to look something like this. Okay, where the length is 4, the width is 3, and the height is 8. Okay, so look back. We have the length, the width, and the height. So you need to use those three numbers to solve for the volume. Okay, number 2. A flute case is shaped like a rectangular prism. The case is 5 inches tall. So it's like kind of like this. 3 inches wide. So 5 inches tall. 3 inches wide. So it's like 3 inches wide like that. And has a volume of 255 feet. Now, why did I say feet? Clearly, it's not going to be feet because that would be the world's most gigantic flute case. It should be inches. Okay, whatever. It's inches. I'm going to change that on the test. What is the length of the flute case? So we don't know the length. That's what we don't know. But we do know the height, and we know the width, and we know the volume. So we know that the height, or I'm sorry, the length times the width times the height equals the volume. So you need to figure out what the length would be if the height and the width are 3 and 5. Okay? All right, number 3. Justin has a crate that is 8 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 3 feet tall. Okay? So the crate is... Ooh, that's not a good pen. I got one that works. Oh my gosh, that one's not good either. Oh, my markers are dried out, my friends. Okay. 8 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 3 feet tall. Decide whether each of the crate sizes below has the same volume as Justin's crate. So first you have to figure out what the volume of this crate is. So you're going to multiply the length times the width times the height, and you're going to get a volume, okay? Now you have to go to all these crates and figure out the volume of these crates and say, does it equal this volume? So if you find the volume and it equals the same as the volume with these three dimensions, you're going to say yes. If you find the volume and it's different from the number with these three dimensions, you're going to say no. Now remember, boys and girls, I want to see your work for this, because if you make a silly mistake, I'm going to still take that in consideration and probably still give you partial credit. So don't just take the test and submit it and throw your paper away. Take a picture of your paper, and then I want to see it. Okay. Now this question, when you first look at it, you're going to go, oh my gosh, it's so confusing. I don't even know what to do. This is so hard. Why would Miss Napolitano give us this question? But really, the question walks you through the steps. Simple, simple, simple. So don't freak. This is one of those questions that you just see and then you panic and then you don't know how to do it and then you freeze. Don't do that. Just read the question and it will walk you through, okay? A rectangular planter that is 4 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 2 feet deep uses 3 bags of potting soil, okay? So I'm going to draw this planter. It is 4 feet, 4 feet, and 2 feet deep, okay? The amount of potting soil needed depends on the volume of the planter, right? So a bigger planter would need more soil. A little one would need less soil. How many bags of potting soil would be used in a planter that had a base area of 40 square feet and a depth of 4 feet? Okay, you guys, don't freak. All right, let's draw a second planter. So we have this one. We have a second one that has a base area. Okay, the area would equal 40 feet. And the height would be 4 feet. Okay, so what you're going to do is follow along and it will walk you through the steps to solve this word problem. Okay, the first planter has a volume of, and then you go to A. Is it 10 feet, 32 feet, or 18 feet? So you're going to multiply, you're going to use one of our equations on the front, length times width times height, or area times height, to figure out what is the volume of this first planter. And you're going to put it for A. And it uses 3 bags of potting soil. The second planter has a volume of, and you have the area and the height. So look back. Which should we use with the area and the height? Okay, then you're going to fill in for which one that is. The volume of the second planter is blank times as much as the volume of the first planter. So the second planter is going to be a bigger volume. And they want to know how much bigger. Is it 2 times bigger? Is it 5 times bigger? Is it 10 times bigger? You'll know that as soon as you get the numbers for the volume for the first planter and the second planter. Do you multiply the first planter by 2, 5, or 10 to get to the volume of the second planter? Okay? And it says multiply the 3 bags of potting soil used in the first planter by blank to find that blank bags of potting soil would be used in the second planter. So if the second planter is bigger and it's bigger by a certain amount, which is 2 times bigger, 5 times bigger, or 10 times bigger, you're going to multiply the number of bags of potting soil by that same number, okay? So whatever number you have in C, you're going to have in D, okay? And then the answer is to find that E, bags of potting soil, would be used in the second planter. So that means that the answer you get when you multiply 3 times D is what's going to go in E. Okay? And number 5, a container is shaped like a rectangular prism. It has a volume of 72 cubic feet. So volume equals 72. Give 2 different sets of measurements that could be the dimensions of the container if one of the sides is 12 feet. Okay, so we know the volume equals 12 times something times something. And then the answer would have to be 72. So what numbers could you multiply 12 by to get 72? All right, friends, if I were you for this one, I would just start plugging in numbers. I would also think, how many 12s go into 72? And then once you know how many 12s go into 72, you could figure out a little easier what those two numbers would be. Okay? You can always check it by multiplying. And for this one, you guys, you may use a calculator. So if you want to know 12 times 5 times 4, you may use a calculator for number 5. All right? I wish you luck. I think you'll do great on this test. Send me a remind message. The code word is pineapple. And when you text me or send me a message, I'm going to ask for the code word because then I'm going to know that you watched it all the way to the end. Have a great day and good luck.